September felt like a super long month. Looking back at what I played this month, it just felt like it had been longer since I'd played some of these games. My sense of time may be way off this month, but thankfully I keep notes of what I play so that I don't have to simply rely on my memory. As I usually do, I played a fairly wide variety of games during September and was even able to complete one during the month. As I always do, I wish that I was able to complete more than that, but I felt like I had a great variety of games this month with old favorites, progress on story games, and even a couple new entries on the list as well. So let's take a look at what I played in September 2025. I only completed one game this month, which was the game that I figured I would from last month's video, and that is 20 Minutes Till Dawn. I was able to get through this game and complete all of the achievements for it early in September. I knew I was fairly close to this at the end of August, so this completion didn't really come as any surprise. While I did enjoy 20 Minutes Till Dawn, it didn't really feel like it had the massive replay value that a game like Vampire Survivors has. Despite finishing it early in September, I haven't put out a review for it quite yet. That should be coming out next week though, so if you want to know more about what I thought about the game, keep your eyes out for that video. Since I have been running into more endless style games and story games on PC, I didn't have a second PC story game last month. In September though, I was able to start a story game on PC, and this category has my usual one story game that I'm playing on PlayStation and one that I'm playing on PC. So the first of these is Yakuza 0, and this is the game that I've been working through on the PlayStation. Yakuza is an interesting game, but I'm still not entirely sure what I think about it. I have been enjoying my time with it, but it is also running into some of the issues that I tend to have with open world games. It's a game that has lots of side stories, mini games, and distractions, and that can make the main story feel a bit lacking in terms of development and urgency and pacing and things like that. It could also be that I'm just not far enough into the story to get the maximum investment that the story will offer. This is also kind of influenced by the fact that the game's story is divided between two main characters. So like where I'm at right now, I've only done a couple of chapters with each of the characters, and while each of them seem interesting in their own ways, there hasn't really been major developments and major progress on each of their stories. So as I progress, I'm hoping that things will come together, get a little bit more interesting, but like I just haven't reached that time yet. It's fun from a gameplay side of things, but the story hasn't really hooked me yet, even though there have been some great moments so far. The second story game is Heretic. So a re-release of Heretic and Hexen came out right at the beginning of August, which bumped it up on my games to playlist due to the system I use to work through my backlog. So that's how I started playing this on the PC and how it became my story game on that platform. I've been playing through Heretic, and while I'm having fun playing an old school FPS, there really isn't much here but gameplay. This was the era of very little story in games like this, and while I do think I played Heretic a little bit when I was younger, I don't think I ever beat it and never played it nearly as much as some of the other early FPS series of games like Wolfenstein, Doom, or Quake. So it's been fun to go through, but even with the re-release's polish, it's definitely a game that feels pretty dated both graphically and in its gameplay. It's a fun trip to the old days of the FPS genre, but I feel like Heretic just lacks something that Wolfenstein 3D or Doom had. Maybe that's just because I didn't play it as much, but it feels like it's more than just that. Moving on from story games, I'll be focusing on games that I call endless games. These are games that don't have clear-cut endings. They can be online PvP, arcade, sandbox, creative, simulation, or party games. There are games here that are monthly regulars, but also games that will hop off and on the list depending on the month. September's list of endless games is quite large. I would have had 10 games on here if it wasn't for the fact that I completed 20 Minutes Till Dawn. While much of the list are games you've seen before, there are some different games here and there as well. The first endless game is Fortnite. Chapter 6 Season 4 continues on, but I can't help but feel like this season has just lost a good portion of its fun. You barely find bugs at locations with nests now, the medallions from earlier in the season are gone, and the course of the season has just not been upwards overall in my opinion. The Megazord edition has been pretty fun, as well as the Power Ranger pistol, but I don't feel like it was quite enough to make me feel like this season was going in the right direction overall. It's still Fortnite, and I still have fun with it, but some of the changes have left me a little confused and felt like they diminished the unique flavor of the season. We still have a month of the season yet to go, so hopefully October and Fortnitemares will save the season from continuing to go down this weird path, or at least it will maybe go down just a different path, and the Fortnitemares event will be so good that it'll kind of change the trajectory of the season even if they aren't leaning into the bugs and stuff like that that the season introduced. Second endless game is NGU Idle. I continue to make progress on NGU Idle, and I'm also still not entirely sure how quick that progress really is. I was able to get another set of equipment this month, and I'm currently working on the next set from the 10th Titan boss, which also means that I unlocked the last upgrade system of the game, cooking, which is honestly kind of a disappointing system as it only seems to increase experience gain, which at this point, like, experience is still decent, but it's not as impressive as a system as what it could have been. It's just kind of weird that that's the only thing that it helps you with. So if I keep up this progress, I might be able to finish it before the end of the year, but I'm just not entirely sure. It seems like it might take me a little bit longer than that, but I don't really know. We'll see where I get to, and then I'll kind of evaluate by then. I'm gonna at least keep it going until the end of December, and then I'll make a decision on what to do with it at that point. Third endless game is Marvel Rivals. Season 4 started this month and we received another new hero. This time it is Angela, a flying tank, and I haven't really played her, and now that we're nearing the halfway point of the season, her presence has dropped off considerably. I still see her sometimes, but I don't see her nearly as much as you did at the beginning of the season. I'm not sure if it's just because she's not great, or if there are people like me who are simply playing people they're actively working on ranking up, or that they've already reached Lord on and they just want to kind of keep doing the characters that they know how to play. Personally, I'm working on ranking up Emma Frost on Vanguard, Moon Knight on Duelist, and Jeff on Strategist. I'm Centurion on Emma, so I'm hoping that I'll get her up to Lord soon. I'm not quite as close with either of the others at this point though. While there are lots of articles about how the player count of Marvel Rivals continues to drop, it still remains a game that I enjoy quite a bit. The fourth endless game is Stardew Valley. I played a good amount of Stardew Valley this month, both in my own modded playthrough, but also together with my family on our co-op farm. On my modded farm, I am making good progress. I was able to get a deluxe coop, which allows for a lot of animals and comes with an auto grabber and an auto petter with it, and I found this to be just a really great addition to the farm. I've also been working hard to develop Ginger Island. I have the resort built now and was just able to purchase the island shop right before the end of the month. I was also able to expand the farm that came with Stardew Valley Expanded, which gives me even more space to develop. I am already starting to see major profit from my wine and jam/pickle production, so this just allows for even more development to happen and more profit to start coming in. On our co-op farm, we are also making good progress. I am almost maxed out on all of my skills, and we're very close to finishing out the community center. I think we just need a few fish that aren't in the season that we're currently in. We are also starting to see a solid amount of income as a couple of us have good-sized farms and are producing berries consistently. I also have a shed set up with preserve jars and kegs that are also starting to produce a good amount of profit. Stardew Valley has become our family's game to play when some of us are tired and feel like playing a fairly chill game. Considering that a number of us have been pretty busy the last few months, this has been a game we've turned to fairly regularly. Fifth endless game is Warframe. While I did play some Warframe this month, I didn't really play too much. I played a couple of times to farm some Argon crystals for crafting, but that's really about all that I've done. I was also able to finish out the Nightwave Pass as well while I was doing that. It's not that I still don't have things to do in Warframe, I just lack the time to invest in it right now since I've kind of gone out of the summer schedule. It's one of those things that I kind of wish was a little bit different, but I just kind of find myself lacking the time to try to get into Warframe and do things more with it at this time of the year. Sixth endless game is Super Auto Pets. I didn't play this quite as much as I did in August, but I still have played it quite a bit. It's been a bit frustrating to play through as it is really hard to get higher ranked pets to level 3 and win 10 rounds. I have a lot of the lower level pets mastered for the game, but rank 5 and 6 are particularly hard to have this happen with. I may just try to play with a different set for a while, one that I bought I think last month, to see if that helps me reduce my frustration with the game, but I'm not really sure if that'll work entirely or whether that frustration will kind of still persist. Seventh in this game is Vampire Survivors. I did play Vampire Survivors like once this month. I was trying to get some more secrets unlocked from the Ode to Castlevania DLC, but I wasn't really successful in my attempt. I had meant to play this game a bit more over the month, but I wound up getting distracted by the next game on my list, which is number 8, Hollow Cure Save the Fans. This game has quite a bit in common with Vampire Survivors, only with VTubers instead of the gothic Castlevania-ish theme. Considering that Hollow Cure is a free-to-play game, it really is quite impressive. The basic gameplay is very similar to Vampire Survivors, with you trying to survive a level for a set amount of time while your character automatically attacks the enemies around it. Hollow Cure does have a number of things a bit different though. I think Hollow Cure does more to make each character feel a bit more unique, with special attacks, unique skills for each character, and unique weapons that only that character can use. There are also some minor differences in how you gain characters and how weapon evolutions work, but I'd say the biggest difference is how characters are made to feel unique. It's hard to say that one system is better or worse than the other because each system I feel like has its own unique pros and cons. Holocure also differs in that it has a little area with all kinds of simulation-style mini-games like fishing and farming. You can develop this area to earn more money to unlock more stuff in the game. There is even a casino, a place to mine and cut wood, and a very difficult platforming tower that you can do stuff with as well. These are fun little distractions to the game, but they're mainly useful for earning money and stuff, so once you unlock everything, these things won't be nearly as important. I didn't really know much about the theme of this game before playing, but the game definitely took me by surprise. I've enjoyed it quite a bit and am quite impressed with it, especially with it being a free-to-play title. And the last endless game is Rock Band 4. As we tend to do every handful of months, we loaded up Rock Band and had some fun with it one night this month. We've been playing any random shows that pop up in our band tour playthrough. We always enjoy playing this even if we don't really do it all that often. I haven't really been able to find my groove when it comes to going after trophies. I did do a little bit this month, but not as much as I was planning on. But the game that I did focus on was Ys Origin. I made it to the next boss in the game on my Nightmare playthrough and needed to grind out some levels to face it. I only really did like one play of grinding and probably need to do a bit more before I face that boss. I'm hoping that will happen this month, but if I have another month where I just don't play this that much, that may not really happen. And that's what I played in September. I feel like there were quite a few games that I played this month. Overall, I enjoyed most of them quite a bit, even though there are some games that I haven't quite figured out what I think about them yet. But overall, I felt like it was a good month of playing games on my own and with the family. How about you? What have you been playing in September? Let me know in the comments, as it's always fun to see what others are playing and if you would recommend those games. I hope everyone has had a great month and that you've been playing games that you enjoy. That's all for me though, so I'll see you in the next video.